Hello, everyone. This week, Black Ops Cold War Season 1 invades Warzone. Today, we'll connect with members of the Raven and Treyarch development teams to talk about what's in store for players. But first, let's catch up with Raven's senior executive producer, Ryan Burnett, for a preview of what's coming to Warzone.
When we thought of Rebirth Island, we wanted to look back into the Black Ops lore and really dig deep into where did the Nova 6 gas originate from? And this is a map that took place in the original Black Ops 1, where the Soviets established their bioweapons program, where during the Cold War they were producing all that Nova 6 gas. Players will experience open area and open island where they'll be able to roam around the map, and in there, in the center of this island, is the actual bioweapons facility. What's really great about Rebirth Island is it's going to change what you think about Battle Royale. You're going to come into a much smaller, tighter play space. There's no roaming around or hiding or anything here. You're going to be faced with combat immediately, so it's important to get on the ground, get your loot, and start shooting. The gulag that we know and love is back, and we've evolved it and we've changed it a little bit. We have a new narrative where you come into the game, you're actually strapped down to the chair. You have to break out of the chair, and we have a new battle arena to fight in. 1v1, winner take all, come back into the game.
He's trying to bait you, Adler.
No shit. Vengeance is mine.
With Season 1, we have 3 new operators. The one that we're really excited about is Stitch, who's our new bad guy for the season.
I am going to enjoy this.
Discarded by the Soviets, he's a former bioweapons expert, hellbent on revenge.
You have no idea what's coming.
What we're really excited about with this next chapter of Warzone is all the great content we get to take from Black Ops Cold War, put that and marry that with the existing Call of Duty Warzone content. The users are going to have access to a whole new set of weapons. Really excited to see what they do with it.
Kill the rest. Adler is mine.
Now that we're pumped, we're here to round out the additional details about Warzone and how Black Ops Cold War is entering the fray. We have Raven's Ryan Burnett in the flesh and Treyarch's Tony Flame. Gentlemen, welcome. Ryan, let's start with you out of the gate. You know, at launch, we got to meet Dan Vondrak to talk a little bit about campaign. Outside of the opening piece, we haven't had a chance to talk to you yet. You're new. Who are you? Who are you and what do you do here?
Yeah, so my name is Ryan Burnett. I'm the senior executive producer at Raven. And the long story is I eat, live, and breathe Warzone. So I've been involved with Warzone since the inception of the project, and I'm overseeing all the production on that project and collaborate with all the great teams working on it.
You talked a little bit about Stitch, who can be unlocked instantly through the Season 1 Battle Pass, but there are 2 other operators that enter the fray. Ryan, tell us a bit more about Bulldozer and Zayna.
Yeah, so what we're really excited about these other 2 operators. Zayna is a heavy weapons expert, and her backstory is that she grew up in the garage. She's a real motorhead, and she has gasoline running through her veins, so she's a real firecracker. The other one that we have is Bulldozer, who's a U.S. Marine Corps Special Recon Team expert. His specialty is close quarter combat, and he's always the first one into the fight.
This probably brings us to weapons and an opportunity to bring Tony into the discussion. So there are several weapons that are part of the Season 1 experience. Groza assault rifle, the MAC-10 SMG. Tell us a little bit about each of these. Why these guns? What can players expect?
Yeah, so these are the guns that we think people are going to be wanting in this first Season 1 that fit right into the meta. So let's start with the Groza assault rifle. It's an Eastern gun from the Eastern Bloc. From a gameplay perspective, it's a bullpup, which means it's going to be a little bit quicker on the draw. You're going to be able to ADS a little bit quicker. You'll be coming out to sprint a little bit faster. And it's a lot of fun. It's very unique visually. And that's going to be available in the Battle Pass. On the flip side, switch to the MAC-10, you've got a traditional Black Ops favorite here in the MAC-10. We love this gun. We really wanted to bring it back for this game. It's an incredible SMG. It's got the fastest fire rate of all the SMGs. It's kind of a bullet hose, a good pray and spray gun. So this thing's going to be good in close quarters, out to mid-range, and then it's going to fall off a bit. But it's a ton of fun to use.
So those weapons are available at launch, but there are several other weapons that will be available in season. What can fans expect with weapons like the Street Sweeper, the Sledgehammer, and the Wakizashi?
We have a full auto shotgun, the Street Sweeper. This thing has got a massive drum barrel with a lot of rounds in it. And you can be using this thing in close quarters, right? Just hold the trigger down, enter a room, and just sweep. So to focus on these great new melee weapons, we've got 2 melee weapons that offer unique gameplay from the knife. So the first is going to be the Sledgehammer, right? Sledgehammers, of course, are giant melee weapons with a little bit more reach than maybe your knife. You'll be able to get guys from a little bit farther away. You can time, but you're going to need to time that out properly because the attack speed and the connection speed of that melee is going to be a little bit slower. That's what the Sledgehammer is all about, as well as just smashing your enemies up. For the Wakizashi, this is a really cool crafted smaller dagger sword type weapon, and it's actually very quick on the attacks. So this goes the other way and has a shorter range than your default knife, but the attacks are quicker. So between all those weapons, you've still got your knife, which has its unique gameplay tuning that's different from the Sledgehammer and the Wakizashi. That's kind of how we're approaching melee weapons for this season. They all have a somewhat unique role in the melee gameplay spectrum. And we're really excited to bring that for players to experiment with when they get up close and personal in close quarters.
You know, no matter what kind of new weapons come into the mix, at some point something is going to go sideways, and a player is going to wind up in the gulag. So it sounds like, Ryan, when you talked earlier, it sounds like there are 2 new gulag experiences, one in Verdansk, one in Rebirth. Can you give us sort of a recap of what each of these look like and sort of how players make their way in each one?
Yeah, we're excited about these 2 new Gulag experiences. I'll start with the one in Verdansk. We really wanted to lead into the Black Ops lore. So as you come in, you're going to be strapped into an interrogation chair, and you're going to have to break out of that chair in order to get over and oversee the fighting ground. The other thing that we've done is really changed up the fight arena there. We're heavily inspired by Cold War, and particularly the red light, green light mission and campaign there. We just loved that training facility that we had. So what we did is we took that, ripped that right out and put that into the Gulag. The Rebirth Island is all about the prisoners, right? And what's unique about this is there's actually metal detectors here. So as you go down the hallways, your metal detectors go off, alert your enemy, let you know where you're at. So we're adding a little twist there to your 1v1 battle that you have in there.
Let me tell you, there's no better metaphor for 2020 than the Gulag. So well done. They both sound like exciting experiences. We've talked a little bit about progression. How do things work relative to the Battle Pass?
So the Battle Pass is going to progress no matter what game you're playing, whether you're playing Black Ops Cold War or Warzone or even Modern Warfare 2019. Any of those games that you're playing, you're going to be progressing on all fronts. You're going to be ranking up. You're going to be leveling up your guns, earning camos. You're also going to be progressing your Battle Pass. And we have the new Prestige system as well, which is as you're ranking up, again, across games, you don't have to stress about what you're playing, where you're going to grind. You can play what you want to play, and you're always going to be earning rewards. And we're really excited to be able to deliver that for players, to offer them the biggest suite of game modes, of experiences to play, and have the shared progression no matter what they're playing.
So on that note, before we let Ryan go, keep Tony around for a few more questions. Real quick, want to ask both of you guys, whenever players jump into Season 1, what are each of you most excited for them to experience? Ryan, we'll start with you.
I'm most excited to have the players use all the Cold War content that we're interjecting in the Warzone. The amount of content that we're putting in for Season 1 is astronomical. The team's been working really hard. To see all this content piled on top of an already great game is really going to be exciting to the players, and see what new metas form and what strategies they can develop by having all this new content in there.
Tony?
Yeah, it's a really tough question to answer because we've been so close to the Cold War experience and the multiplayer and the zombies, and I can't wait to try all the new weapons and new game modes that are going to be talked about as well, and the new playlists that we're going to have. But really, been spending a lot of time recently in Warzone, helping the team get the Cold War guns to feel distinctly like Black Ops, and it's just a really cool experience to be in Warzone, running around with, you've got a mix of weapons that you're used to in Modern Warfare, and you switch over to a Black Ops weapon, and you can feel the difference, and you can feel that it's unique. It's from a different era. It's got that Black Ops feel to it, and we've been dialing those in to include all the customization, right? These weapons in Warzone are going to have the full attachment suite that you're used to in Cold War, all the customization, the reticles, and the camos, and so forth. So all of that's going to be there, and it's going to feel distinctly Cold War. And having those in the same game and being able to choose the type of weapon that's right for you in Warzone and what game it's from is just an experience unlike any other I've had in Call of Duty.
This probably makes for a good time to let Ryan go. Tony, we're going to keep you around. We're going to bring in Matt to start talking about maps and modes and how weapons begin to play in multiplayer. Ryan, thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.
Season 1 also marks the arrival of 8 additional maps coming to Black Ops Cold War across all of multiplayer, as well as new multiplayer modes. That means it's probably a good time to bring in Treyarch's Matt Schrontz to help us dig into everything that's coming our way. Matt, welcome.
Hi, John.
All right, let's start with the 6v6 maps. Matt, take us to New Jersey.
Let's go. I've never been. I always wanted to go. Now we can go. We've got a new 6v6 map, The Pines, which, as you said, is based in New Jersey in an 80s mall. So we've got all the 80s mall fanfare. We've got your Galaxy Arcade. We've got the classic food court. We've got your electronics shop. It's a really, really fun map. One of our favorites at the studio. I'm really excited to get it into players' hands. But one of my favorite locations in this map is the Galaxy Arcade. The level design team, the art team, really nailed the vibe of going into that classic 80s arcade. They've done such a good job that you can almost smell the stale popcorn when you go in there. So again, really excited to get that one into players' hands.
Matt, you did such a good job with that description. I can smell the stale popcorn now. It's
Yummy.
pungent. It's fantastic. All right. So there's also a reimagining of a Black Ops 2 map that makes its return.
Yes, sir. Fan favorite of ours at the studio, Raid, is returning. Super excited to get this one out into the world. If players haven't had a chance to play this map before, plays really well in every game mode, just due to that really tight design, specifically for the competitive players out there. Raid has always been a staple in the competitive stable of competitive maps. The team has spent a lot of time focusing on making sure that Raid plays like it played in Black Ops 2.
And then, if I'm not mistaken, there's a holiday version of an old fan favorite making its return.
You betcha. Nuketown Holiday. The cold has settled into Nuketown. It's no longer the hot burning sun that players have been experiencing so far in Nuketown 84. The sun has set, night has fallen. We've got trees, we've got wreaths, we've got snowmen, all of your classic holiday fanfare set in Nuketown.
Tony, of those 6v6 maps, which one are you looking forward to most?
I mean, I got to say Raid. I'm a nostalgic kind of guy. I love me some Raid. I love me some competitive Raid. So looking forward to it.
All right, Matt, let's skip ahead to some 6v6 modes. One available at launch, one coming mid-season. Tell us a little bit more about what's in store.
A brand new game mode. We've got 6v6 game mode that we're super excited about. It's called Dropkick. It's an objective-based game mode. At the start of the match, you and the enemy team are going to be fighting for control over that nuclear football or the briefcase. It's going to be in the middle of the map. You're going to race to pick it up. The first player to pick it up is going to be given a pistol, and you'll be carrying that briefcase to your side. While you carry that briefcase, you will be earning score for your team. While your team owns the briefcase, if you die, you will not respawn until your briefcase carrier is eliminated and drops that briefcase. Super fun game mode. We've gotten some really tight matches in development. And there's if you hit the score limit, you do gain access to the launch codes. So there may be a little surprise in store at the end of the match if you manage to do that.
Well, that's coming mid-season, but at launch, it sounds like there's some prop hunt action on the way.
Again, a fan favorite. I absolutely love prop hunt. If you're not familiar with this, you hunt props. It's a 6v6 game mode where a team of hunters will be pitted against a team of props. The prop team will spawn as a random prop that can be found in the map. If you don't like that prop, you can change a couple of times. And it's really your job as a prop to go hide and blend in the environment. We went further than we've went before as far as our ability to create different props this game. So again, prop hunt's a blast. That's really all that matters.
All right, 2v2 gunfight has a few different experiences coming at launch. run us through the 4 new maps that players will be able to play on day one?
Yes, sir. Gunfight is back. We'll have U-Bahn, which is located in Germany. It's actually under the Berlin Wall in an underground tunnel. U-Bahn is my favorite gunfight map. I love them all, but it's just the vibe of this map, being in that underground tunnel, being able to move through the trains. It's just a really fun map. We also have ICBM, which I believe is actually our smallest gunfight map. ICBM is, as you would assume, it's located in a launch facility deep in the mountains, so you will be fighting in and around this missile. But there is some layering there where you can get on top of the silo. We've got some underground area where you can kind of dance around your enemy. So that's another really fun one. We've got KGB, which is located in a Soviet financial building. It actually feels a little bit more like a classic map. It's definitely on the smaller side. It is a gunfight map without a doubt, but it's got some really nice layout and design to where you can really feel clever and outsmart your opponent and outflank your opponent. And then last but definitely not least, and I think this, if we pulled our developer audience, I would probably guess that this would be their favorite. We've got Game Show. It's just a fun map. It is set on a game show stage. The level design team, the environment art team, the FX Anim team, they've put a lot of work into this and put some fun little elements in there. You can actually go up and melee the contestant buzzers and make those buzz. Somebody pulled off a finishing move on me the other day in Game Show because I was busy hitting the buzzer. I did get the buzzer, so I will consider that a moral victory. But we did lose that round. So that rounds out our 4 gunfight maps. An absolute blast. They will launch just as gunfight maps, but we do have more plans for these maps.
Well, speaking of maps that sort of evolve, if I'm not mistaken, Miami joins the rotation of 12v12 maps, yes?
Yes, sir. So you're going to be playing 12v12, Miami, Combined Arms Domination, Combined Arms Assault, pushing up through that street in Assault and trying to push into the beach and trying to push into the hotel, the Blackwood Hotel, and take that final zone in Combined Arms Assault has been so much fun. And it really provides a vastly different experience in Miami than players are used to. And then I'll also mention that we've got a brand new game mode coming to Combined Arms, which is Combined Arms Hardpoint. So it's the hardpoint that we all know and love, just on a bigger scale. So it's 12v12 hardpoint. You'll be able to experience that in Armada. You'll be able to experience that in Crossroads and now Miami. A single hardpoint zone is going to last a little bit longer compared to the 60 seconds that you see in 6v6. The score limit's going to be a little bit higher, just to make sure that you can get into the swing of things and come back if necessary.
And all of that happens on day one. Looking ahead to some other things mid-season, it looks like the team's got some plans for the Fire Team map, and it seems like you've got something cooking for something called Sanatorium.
Sanatorium, yes. Very exciting. Sanatorium is located in Russia. It's our biggest Fire Team map to date. We really enjoy this larger space internally. We find that it lets you spread your wings a little bit further, a little bit more in a game mode like Fire Team Dirty Bomb. The lake in Sanatorium is a big focus of that map. So you're going to be able to hop on some wake runners. You're going to be able to pilot a gunboat. We've also got some LTMs that we're planning on launching throughout the season. We're very excited to start playing around with Fire Team Dirty Bomb. The first up is going to be Fire Team Dirty Bomb duos. So it'll still be 10 teams, but it's going to be 2 players. So instead of a full 40 players, it's going to be 20 players. I've had a lot of fun with it personally. And then in addition to that, we've got another game mode coming out called Fire Team Dirty Bomb Endurance. Unlike core Dirty Bomb, where we whittle down, you start with 5 active Dirty Bombs and you go to 4, 3, 2, 1. Once a Dirty Bomb is destroyed in Endurance, we're actually just going to add another one back. So you always have 5 active Dirty Bombs, so the pace is a little bit more manageable overall and on average.
There should also be a new score streak that's coming mid-season. Tony, would you like to tell us a little bit more about the HARP?
Sure. We think players might just like this, especially the longtime hardcore players. This is the score streak, the HARP, the High Altitude Recon Plane. This is a high-level score streak. You call it in, and it's going to tell you where all the enemies are. It's going to show you where they are on the mini map. It's going to show the direction they're facing. There's no counter for it because it's a high-level score streak, other than to shoot it down.
And guys, as we kind of wrap up things on the multiplayer front, is there anything that you'd like to add? And, what are you most excited for people to experience with season 1? Matt, let's start with you.
Our new maps. I'm not going to pick a favorite. Like Tony said, I'm a classic guy. I love the classic raid, but at the same time, I also love the Pines. I'm really excited to get some more new maps in players' hands. And I think I just ticked over the 24-hour mark in Cold War multiplayer. I've been putting in the work, so I'm excited to get out there and get on some new maps as well.
Tony, how about you?
Yeah, it's always hard to pick one thing, but a big part that we haven't actually talked about are blueprints. We've got a ton of blueprints coming across all of the guns. So I think pretty much every gun has a blueprint, if not multiple. So there's so much cool artwork in there, so many different ways to earn these things as well. Totally new experience for, feeling the vibe of the Cold War, feeling what our amazing weapons team has put together in terms of the look and feel of these weapons. And then, of course, getting those variants for the gun, having those attachments unlocked. Really excited for all the blueprints coming up.
Guys, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. My pleasure. Thanks, everybody.
Since introducing Die Maschine, fans have been having a great time with the undead. And things are about to get a whole lot deader with a series of new updates on the zombies front. Here to tell us more about that is our very own Kevin Drew. Kevin, welcome.
Thanks, John. Glad to be here.
All right, let's just jump right into all that is season 1, and let's talk about the holiday version of Die Maschine. What does the team have planned?
So as you can see behind me, we are adding a new limited time mode called Jingle Hells, which is a retheming of Die Maschine for the holidays.
Jingle hells.
A megaton has decided to take the mystery box and fly off. And instead of using the mystery box, players will now use snowballs scattered across the map to freeze zombies and drop presents. And inside those presents, you'll get all sorts of things, ranging from coal to ray guns.
How does the idea to do a holiday version come up in the first place? And then what does that conversation sound like?
I mean, it's a blast to do from a creative point of view, because you have a lot of kind of unlimited potential, ranging from enemies to the environment to power-ups. So it was just a lot of fun.
Let's jump ahead to something that's coming down the pipe mid-season. The team is planning a cranked mode. Can you tell us more about that?
So Cranked is a mode that is inspired from the multiplayer version. You have a timer of 30 seconds that's ticking down. When it reaches 0, you die. Every time you kill a zombie, that timer resets. It's even more frantic in 4-player when you're juggling between all these different zombies, trying to make sure everyone stays alive.
Jumping back to what is available at launch, PlayStation players who love Onslaught are going to be taking a little trip to New Jersey, no?
That's right. We're heading towards the Pines, the first map we are adding for multiplayer. Throughout the seasons, as we add these multiplayer maps, they will be added to Onslaught as well. So you'll be finding new opportunities to earn chalices and take on as many megatons as you can to earn rewards. Later this season, in addition to the Pines, we'll be adding Raid as well.
The team is also planning an Onslaught challenge, yes?
Yes, so that the Jingle Hells theming moves into Onslaught as well. We'll have snowballs scattered throughout the map, even in Miami, and you'll be able to freeze zombies and drop presents. So it's a fun way to get more opportunities for weapons and power-ups.
What is it about season 1 that you are most excited for fans to experience?
For me, I'm excited to see the players get into these limited time modes and kind of experience just a different way to think about playing the game, right? Usually we've got this this path of getting to the mystery box or getting the power on. These modes kind of open up and change how you think about the mode, and that ends up being a lot of fun.
Is there anything that you want to add, anything that I may have forgotten along the way?
So for season 1, we're adding the cruise missile score streak to zombies. You'll be able to craft that at the table. It kind of adds a new way to clear out an area of zombies quickly. It's a little cheaper than the chopper gunner, and it's a lot of fun to just take control of that missile and come raining down fire and blow out the entire area and kill all the zombies. In addition, Zombies has its own unique daily and seasonal challenges moving forward. In general, this is just kind of the beginning. We're going to just be continuing to add new features and mechanics as the seasons go on. We view this mode as a living, breathing game that we're constantly going to refine and improve. We have a general philosophy at the design team, like we want to make sure that everything is awesome and fun to play. And we're constantly reading community feedback and reactions and listening.
Is there anything that you want to, I don't know, tease about season 2? Anything?
So recently we've added additional intel into D Machina for players to discover. You might find a hint of what's to come at the start of season 2. We will be bringing you a brand new map at the start, which is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. Look at the time. Kevin, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, John, for having me.
With Nuketown 84 coming out just before Thanksgiving, we figured it might be a nice way to close out today's show by waxing poetic on all things Nuketown. And to help us do that is Treyarch's Miles Leslie and Adam Hoggett. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thanks, John.
If you could, reintroduce yourselves, tell us who you are, but also give us a little bit of insight into your individual relationships with the history that is Nuketown.
Sure. My name is Adam Hoggett. I'm a senior level designer here at Treyarch. I've been with Treyarch for about 12 and a half years. And I created the original Nuketown. And that was a long time ago.
Well, my name is Miles, obviously. And like Adam, I've been here, I think about 12 and a half years. I think we almost started pretty close together, which is crazy. And like Adam said, that was a long time ago, which is pretty bonkers. And I've also worked on the original and every subsequent sort of map and iteration of Nuketown as well.
Adam, for someone that was so intimately involved in the original Nuketown map, what's it been like to watch that gameplay experience evolve over the years?
You know, when we first started out, we first play tested the first couple iterations of it. I think there was a sense that we had something special, but I never would have expected it to turn into, you know, what it's become today. It's exciting to see, you know, that we're still talking about it now a decade later.
Miles, if you could, give us a sense of how the studio has dabbled over the years and where we landed. Kind of recap it things for us with Nuketown 84.
Sure, and kind of to touch on what you were just asking Adam is, I think it's really crazy because when that first Nuketown did come and the idea behind it, and you know, Adam basically came to the studio, was like, I made this map at home, and he came in and we played it, and I think to what Adam's talking about is no one knew, like we all knew it was really fun. Once it really set fire to the world, it was like, okay, we need to do it justice. We need to take it seriously, right? Like it can't be an afterthought. Like fans really care about this map and we care about it a lot. You know, so BO1, you know, lightning in a bottle, right? Like trying to mimic that is going to be impossible. So let's do it justice, right? So then we had Black Ops 2, where we made it the 2025 version, where it's, you know, in the far sort of 60s predicted future, to Black Ops 3, where now we're in the simulated mind, and to Black Ops 4, we're in a snowy climate, very different, and it's a Russian hidden base with the missile obviously in the middle, all the way to now to Cold War, where we're in 1984. And really, we wanted to kind of go the opposite direction, as it's been taken over by time in the Nevada deserts and kind of lost to travelers that have kind of made it their home, which is kind of fun.
So here we are. Tell us, how do you go from something like that to Holiday Nuketown?
It really lent itself to this unique contrast of abandoned and, you know, and kind of people living in it in Nuketown 84 to now this holiday version, and really represent just a place for winter celebration in that sense, in the middle of the desert, right? So it was just a fun thing when we were stringing up the lights and kind of brainstorming what we could do. Is it felt very different. It feels really cool.
Adam, in the grand scheme of having a unique relationship to the Nuketown experience, you've done something interesting with your home office. Tell us a little more about your work from home situation.
Well, I mean, this year has been a year of, I guess, surprises, if nothing else. When I realized I was going to be, you know, home all the time, I was like, well, you know, what can I do to make my office, you know, festive? And the obvious answer was to kind of turn it into Nuketown. Over the course of a few weeks, and a couple of friends helping out on a few Saturdays, and here it is. So I'm now working from Nuketown and waiting for the nuke to go off any minute now. So
It's 2020, Adam. We're all waiting for the nuke to go off. I think the most amazing part are your friends. I can't even get a ride to the airport. They helped you put Nuketown together. So well done on that. What are the things that you're enjoying about players getting experience with in Holiday Nuketown?
Probably like a lot of gamers, I have, a lot of memories of some new game would be out, and I just have fond memories of those times during the holidays. And to me, it's kind of like a way to create, some new memories for new players, getting to experience the holiday season in the game.
Gentlemen, any closing thoughts? Anything Nuketown related? Just in general, what's on your minds? Talk to us. Is there anything that you wanted to wrap up with today?
I just want to say shout out to all the teams, man. 2020 has obviously been tough, and this isn't just for Nuketown, but it really pulled it together. It's pretty awesome to see the response from players, and like Adam said about Nuketown holidays, this is something we've always wanted to do, and we finally got to do it. We made it happen, and that could not have been done without the teams coming together from home in these very challenging times. So thanks to everyone across the board, made it happen.
Adam, take us home.
Yeah, and just Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and go play some Holiday Nuketown. Have some fun, make some memories.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Thank you to all of our guests today, to the members of the Raven and Treyarch development teams, and to everyone who tuned in. Thank you to our production crew, Tommy and Alan. Thanks to our Treyarch communications team, Ben Lewis, and our community manager, Josh Torres, aka Foxhound. And thank you to our partners at Activision, as well as Raven, Beanox, and Demonware. From blog information about all things Season 1 to updates since launch, as well as information about Treyarch's new Trello page, please make sure to check out the notes below. Additionally, for information about Season 1, the Battle Pass, and how you can get in on the Black Ops Cold War and Warzone action, make sure to head to callofduty.com. We hope that you enjoy everything that Season 1 has to offer. We hope that you have a happy and safe holiday season. We'll see you here again soon. Or perhaps first, we'll see you online. Thank you. Take care, everyone.